everybody. Today's video, we are going to be talking about my upcoming release, Long Island Executioner. This is a pre-launch party, and I'm just going to get straight into the video because we are officially live and talking about this book. I just got a few paperbacks in the mail, so we have a lot to talk about. There will be no spoilers in this episode. Hi, Jacqueline Ryder 30. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. There will be no spoilers in this episode. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for joining. So if obviously no one has read this book yet, this book has not been released yet. This book is coming out October 27th. So in a few days, I was going to say 2023. Nope, 2022. It's coming out in a couple days. So I wanted to get on here and tell you about my new series, tell you a little bit about this book, and get into, some things to get you excited about the story if you've read some of my other books and you're curious about what is going to be in this book. So get excited for that. Hi, Sam. And that's just the summary of what I'll be talking about today. Today was a great day in mail for me. I also got this mug, which says, "I love dark Mafia heroes." And this is on my Redbubble. A few people have found my Redbubble, but if not, it's just under Jamila Jasper. And I share it at the bottom of my mailing list and my signature, and in the link in my bio. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. So let's talk first about the concept and premise behind Long Island Executioner. I have a little excerpt to read at some point, but it's not going to be very long. And this may not be one of my longer live videos because, of course, since I can't give you too many details, I can't really talk too much about it. So I thought I would start with just the description because a lot of people want to know what the blurb is. So we'll get into the blurb and then concept and premise. So Lucky meets her pressed against the wall of a public bathroom, ready for him. Mahogany skin, gorgeous brown eyes, she has the voluptuous body of a goddess. Lucky wants more than just one night. He spends a decade tracking her down. Althea spends that decade hiding from a dangerous man. When he shows up on her doorstep, the last thing she wants to do is talk to the father of her child. She knows his reputation. The executioner. Good thing talking is the last thing on Lucky's mind. So hi, Sandra. Hi, doing it for the fam. Thank you for joining. So that was a little bit of our blurb. So concept and premise. This is a second chance romance. This is a secret baby romance. This is an interracial romance, obviously, and a dark mafia romance. That being said, there are going to be a lot of dark themes in this book. This book is darker than Forced to Marry and Forced to Surrogate for sure. And the very first chapter we are going to get into that is going to get into that. So the premise for this book, and this is published in the first chapter, which is on my blog already. You can read the first chapter for free. It's jamilajasperromance.com/blog, and you can, I think a couple thousand words. You can probably read that very quickly. So in this, we see that Althea and Lucky have an encounter, and this book is what happens 10 years later when the baby that Althea originally hid from and Lucky brings them together. So that is the general premise of the story without doing too much. Lucky has a very good reason for wanting Althea back in his life, and obviously now that he's discovered his child, he definitely wants to be a father to that child, and he only wasn't a father because he didn't know that the child existed. So why did Althea keep her child from her child's father for so long? Well, that will be hopefully answered by the second chapter of the book. So pre-order the story, y'all. The link is in my bio. It's Long Island Executioner on Amazon, and I think right now it's $3.99 during the pre-order period. So definitely grab a copy because there's a lot of juicy drama in this book, and we are getting into, hi Michelle, and we are going to get into an entirely new mafia family. So some questions that people usually have: will we see characters from other series in this book? Yes, 110%. But this is a standalone series. So if you've never read one of my mafia romance books before, you can just start right in here because we are starting with a new Italian family, the Long Island Vicari family. And I researched a lot of the mob in New York City to write this series and these books. And so I really hope that I put in some details in here that anyone who's really interested in the mafia and knows a bit about mafia history would pick up on and enjoy. But of course, primarily, this is a romance novel. So the majority of the relationship, that's kind of the background. The majority of the story is, of course, about Lucky and Althea's relationship. How do they repair that traumatic encounter and turn it into basically an instance of love? How does the chemistry between them develop when it absolutely shouldn't? And also, how does their daughter play a role in bringing them together? So Secret Baby and a Second Chance can sometimes seem like tropes that may be hard to fit into a dark romance, but don't forget, we have a mafia family that is effed up, twisted, not afraid of murder, and hopefully you can tell from the title and the description that Lucky's job definitely involves killing people, and so as such, there will be violence in this book. There will be descriptions of sexual violence, foul language, underlined 17 times. I would say that thank you, doing it for the fam. Doing it for the fam just commented, just ordered it, can't wait. One of the things I did with Lucky, a lot of times I like to give my MMCs, my male main characters, the alphas, a thing. And Lucky's thing is that he likes dirty talk. This is one of the most dirty talk laden books I have written in a while. Nearly every time Lucky opens his mouth, something filthy comes out. The only other book of mine that I've written in the past that I can really think of that was similarly like this was Tuck from Fraternity Plaything, was also very much a foul-mouthed, dirty talk kind of scenes in that book. And there are a lot of these in this book. There are a lot of other taboo scenes. I would say every door is opened, if that reaches you. Every door is opened between them. And of course, there is already a baby in this book, but I would say that pregnancy is not necessarily the main theme of this book. It's more about them getting back together. So for those of you who, a lot of my readers who watch this and ask me questions are the same people. So I'm trying to come up with some answers to what you might want to know ahead of time. So a little introduction into the entire series, now that we've talked about the book. Hi, Ennis Rock. Thank you for joining. Is that the entire series is going to be 3 books long, and the books are going to be, obviously I don't have all of them written yet, but they're going to be Long Island Executioner, Long Island Butcher, and Long Island Slayer. You can pre-order all 3 books right now. So if you're one of these people who doesn't trust indie authors when they say they're going to finish a series, because a lot of us don't finish the series, I'll admit, you can rest assured that this series will be finished. The pre-order dates are set. And if I disappoint you, I disappoint myself and lose my pre-order privileges. So definitely check out the entire series. I'm already very close to the end of Long Island Butcher, and the books have like a really good connection between them. What you may want to know as well is, I obviously won't tell you what the cliffhanger is, but yes, once you finish this book, you will be foaming at the mouth for book 2. I can promise you that. This is definitely going to be one of my more intense series, I can tell. I think a lot of times there are books of mine that are on the funnier side, and this is on the drama and suspense side a little bit more. So let's talk a little bit more. Hi, A. Haggerty. Thank you for joining, about the different men in this series after I have a sip of this decaf. So book 1 is about Lucky, and Lucky is a nickname for Luca. If you have read a lot of mafia romance in the interracial romance genre, you will notice that a lot of us use the same names. Hi, Leanna, and hi, Micah. You can correct me. Thank you. For real, Micah. Thank you for coming through. And so a lot of us use a lot of the same names because we are probably doing similar types of research, and we are obviously like similar romance because of what we write, so we are drawn to similar names. So I decided to, instead of naming him Luca, because I'd recently seen a lot of books with the name Luca, we are talking about Long Island Executioner. We are talking about I should just hold it up the whole time. Hi, one lovely lady. Lucky is a nickname for Luca, and his nickname definitely has a role in the plot. And that is something I was very excited about, is naming all the characters and getting into that aspect of things. Book 2 is John's book, and John is the eldest brother. So this time there's 2 brothers in the family, Lucky and John. And then book 3 is about their cousin Sammy. I can't say very much about Sammy because he features a lot in this plot in a way I really don't want to spoil. But by the time we get to Sammy's book, you are going to wonder, WTF is he going to do? Because a lot of what is the main drama that's going to be with the Mafia family that I don't feel like I've done in the other books is that sometimes people hurt each other and loyalties get broken. And so there is going to be very much intensity amongst the three men in the Mafia throughout the series that we're going to see possibly affect other characters in their lives. And so there is going to be very intense family drama involving Sammy, the cousin, John, and Lucky. And so each of the brothers is going to get their own book. Sammy's book is coming out in January of next year, and Long Island Butcher book 2 is coming out in December, on December 1st. So each of these books is going to be around the same length. You can see how big it is. Let's take a look inside. I actually like doing this because I'm always curious how indie books look inside. I kind of tried to design this one. I did the formatting and I put the flowers that I've been into lately in the background of the first chapters, and I think the font is readable to me. I can't really see very small font. I have poor eyesight, not the poorest, but I need the font a little bit big but not too big. So hopefully this, if you are into the paperbacks, appeals to you, and you can check those out. You can actually get the paperbacks now, and I don't know if they will be there in time because Amazon fulfills them. I don't, so I can't guarantee when you will get them. But if you have Prime shipping, you should be able to get a paperback to arrive on the day that the ebook comes out. So that's something to note. And of course, the link to this is in my bio. You can also just type in Long Island Executioner Jamila Jasper on Amazon, and you're going to be able to find the book. So now that we're at this point in the video, I wanted to just read, since I have the first chapter of this book up on my website, anyone can read it. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to do anything. You can literally just go to jamilajasperromance.com/blog and read the whole first chapter of this book. Because I already have that up there, I originally thought I wanted to read that whole chapter on the live stream. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to read a little moment between Lucky and Althea for you, and hopefully it's not going to spoil too much because of course that's not my intention, but I want to give you another special teaser that I haven't posted anywhere else, something that's exclusive to the live stream. So let us get into reading this brief little excerpt from the book that has not come out yet. My heart stops. This is Althea's chapter. My body wants to give Lucky a second chance. My body definitely enjoys the way his firm hands linger on my hips and how I can tell he wants to glide his hand to my ass. Once he touches me there, it's on, so his hand hangs cautiously in the balance on my hips. We're still in that in-between space where anything could go wrong. Love me? I don't want to believe that Lucky could love me, but there's a look in his eye I haven't seen before. A look that stirs something instinctive and primal in me. His emotions are mine, and every emotion inside Lucky becomes one of mine. I've never shared this closeness and intensity with anyone. My hand clings to his chest. Lucky takes my hand and holds it there. With his palm firmly covering mine, I can't deny to myself how good this closeness feels. I want to pull away from it, but I just can't. He makes me feel too much. It's not love yet, but it could be. Okay, I whisper. Lucky makes a low grunt in the back of his throat. I need you upstairs. I can't survive another minute. Okay, I whisper. You aren't making me beg? He sounds surprised. I don't want to make him beg tonight. I don't need more friction getting between me and what I want. He loves me. He loves Kiara. Maybe there's a chance this isn't a nightmare, but a blessing a decade in the making. Maybe this man really loves me, or he did, and he wants to make things better. Maybe this is a chance to let the past go. Then again, maybe I'm just really fucking horny. So we are going to stop there because that's a good little, it's a teaser. I don't want to give you too much. So I read about 1 page in Long Island Executioner. Again, this book is coming out so soon. It's coming out on October 27th. So you can head to Amazon anytime between now and then, pre-order the story, and then right at midnight, it just gets delivered to your Kindle. Pre-orders as a reader have changed my life. I don't know if you like them as a reader, but I certainly think a lot of you do. Oh, I would love to continue, but I have to hold myself back this time. However, anyone who is interested in getting some of my books and chapters early, this is a part of why I have the Patreon, is so that I can have a way to exchange, to give readers extra and get a little extra. And so I think I have a lot of the chapters of this story posted on my Patreon already, and all subscribers from $5 a month and up access all my serials, new chapters, and then bits and pieces of my work in progress books as things go on. So definitely check that out as well if you're interested in some more chapters. And also, probably like 2 days after this book comes out, they're going to get chapter 1 of Long Island Butcher. I will be very upfront about that. Patreon is about to get chapter 1 of the next book and seal that cliffhanger deal. Thank you for pre-ordering, and thank you, Sandra, for saying, so thank you for Real Micah for I'm pre-ordering, and thank you, Sandra, for sounds awesome book. Sounds like an awesome book. Can't wait to read it. I'm trying to just read quickly, so sorry if I make any mistakes here. So let me take a second to double check my notes, because this is live and I sometimes forget where I'm going with things. So I was also thinking that I'm going to do, hi, I Lucy Anna, thank you for joining, a launch party on the day this book comes out. I was thinking, oh, I'll do like a midnight launch party. Y'all, I'm not going to be up at midnight. I'm sorry. If we want words, I have to not be up at midnight very often. And I think we want words. I think the people want more words from me. Ennis Rock 25 says, I'm still doing my marathon of your books. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I also love your messages. I sometimes take a while to respond to things, but at least on Instagram lately, I have managed to come out of my failure to always reply. Have you ever read books by Evelyn Sola? I have not. I try sometimes to read books in my genre or read romance books long after they come out and on my breaks. And so I have not read any of her stuff. But if you have any recommendations, definitely put them in the comments and I will take some notes for when I've got some time off. I need to clear my head and get into someone else's work. So what else was I going to say? Oh, right. On October 27th, it won't be at midnight, but during the day, I think at either noon or in the evening, I'm going to set it up on my Instagram page so you can save the event. I'm going to have an event and do a live stream talking about the book launch. If you can't make it on time, on that time whenever I stream, it's just going to be available on Instagram. So I'm just going to have to pick a time on the 27th that works so we can celebrate the book launch and we can talk about a little more. Hi, Handbag Lady 60. Thank you for joining. But this book will be out on the 27th and I will be back. I will honestly probably read more from this book on the next stream, and it's going to be another no spoilers stream, but a launch party announcement. And I'll probably talk about like what's coming next in the series. Again, no spoilers, and a few other things that you may be interested in if you pre-ordered the book. So again, you can get this linked in my bio. It is on Amazon only, and it's going to be in Kindle Unlimited. I need a drink of water. It's very warm. And I'm really looking forward to this one coming out. So I'm trying to think if I want to say any more that's not going to spoil things too much for you about the book. I guess we can talk just for a little while about Lucky, and then I can give you a little update on writing progress, because I know a lot of people want to know, where is this book? Where is this story? So I can just give you the update in one video and answer everyone's questions at once. So a little more about Lucky. He is an ex-gambler. Hi, Kira the Great, and hi, Steam Maker. And he is in his 30s at the time of the story. I would say this is not an age gap romance in trope. Can you do a book order if you have a book series? I'm new about your work. Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. I've seen someone else do that. Thank you for commenting that, for real, Micah. I can definitely do that on my blog at some point, or make like a little Instagram screenshot with a note. To give you an answer now, like a quick answer, I would say for the Mafia series, Greek Mafia Brotherhood, Amalfi Coast Brotherhood, and then this one. Hey, boo. And if it comes to my serials, then the Unlovable series, Despicable series, Powerless. Which track you go down just depends on what types of books you like to read. And the Varsity series you can fit anywhere. I don't think you have to read it in a particular order, but for the Mafia books, that's the order that the books go in. So that's what I would recommend. But I can think in a more detailed way and give a longer answer at another point. So Lucky also owns a security company, and Althea herself has a very interesting career. She is self-made in the book, and there's going to be a lot more on that and some of the things she did to make her daughter's life better. She's been one of my favorite characters. Althea is wholesome. Lucky is not wholesome. He's a bad boy. He's very naughty. And if you, again, dirty talk is the thing, gluing this book together. If you like books that are very, very hot and have dirty talk that I would say is very appreciative of the Black woman and the Black woman's physical appearance in the story, this is that type of book. It's going to make you gush levels of heat. Every time I sat down, I was like, why do I feel like they are having a lot of sex in this book? Like, they are doing it all the time. The chemistry just blew up the whole story. So be sure to check that out. So I think this is all I have to say about Long Island Executioner. And in a rare moment, I'm going to talk about at the end of the video what I'm working on now and what's kind of gonna come in those realms. So we have Scorpio King coming out after this on November. Of course, now I forget. It's November 9th, I believe. It's not the 8th. The 8th is a friend of mine's birthday. It's November 9th. And then I scheduled, hi, Miles Marianne, Sagittarius King, which I really want to write, but I shouldn't write because I need to be focusing on other things. But the passion struck me and I can't help it. So Sagittarius King is going to come out November 23rd. So at that point, good evening. So I had no plans to write those two November books originally. And then I was kind of like, oh, readers might want to get into some more stories between book 1 and book 2 of the Mafia romance. And I kind of really want to write the Zodiac series. As I mentioned in a previous video, it's my passion project. So I kind of have been trying to, it's what I really want to write, is these little short novellas. To kind of, as a palate cleanser for my creative juices, just because I've been in the mood for small town romance and keeping that dark angst in the books anyways. So there are going to be 2 books in that series coming out in November, and that is going to be very fun. I'm going to do a whole episode on Scorpio King ahead of time. And of course, there are chapters to that book being posted to Patreon, and there's going to be a chapters of Scorpio King on Patreon, and the first chapters of Sagittarius King I already have scheduled to release on there. Now, with the other books, I'm in the process of writing Long Island Butcher. So if you're wondering after book 1, is book 2 going to come out? I'm very close to the end of that book. So yes, it's for sure going to come out. And I think so far, book 2 may end up being the most intense book of the series. I can't say for sure, but all 3 books are gonna really hit you, I think. I have a good idea of where this series is going, and I have a good plan for the boys, and there's gonna be a lot of heat in these books. Book 2, if I say book 1 is off the charts steamy, I don't know what to say about book 2 because John is very dark and twisted. And again, we're going to get introduced to John in book 1. So I have been writing book 2 furiously. And then the other thing everyone asks about, which I will delay even answering even further by taking a sip. And for anyone who wasn't here at the beginning, it says, I love dark Mafia heroes, and this is on my Redbubble. Kara the Great asks, is there a pre-order available for book 2? Yes, it's all the books. You can pre-order all 3 books in the series. That is available smarturl.it/Long Island Mafia. I, for some reason, remember all the URLs I create. If you can type it in on another tab, that would work. But if you just search the Long Island Mafia romance, Jamila Jasper on Amazon, 1, 2, and 3 available for pre-order, and book 2, just a reminder, is coming out December 1st. So there's a little bit of a wait, but 2 books coming out in November to hopefully help get through that. And now, drum roll for anyone who is interested, Powerless 2, what is happening with that? That is going to be a very long season. This is going to be, for sure, the longest season I've written across all the serials. I just am the story is coming out very slowly. I think it's coming out good, and I really like where things are going for Clover and Thomas, but it's definitely a slow burn in a lot of ways. And there are, like with all of the serials, thank you to Miles Marianne. I really do hope you pre-order it. I think you guys will like it, and I hope hearing a little more about it, you can kind of get an idea of why I think you like it. Because it's easy for me to say, okay, I think you'll like the book. Well, yeah, I wrote it, but why do I think you'll like it from what I hear about the other books that I've written? I'm trying to, give you guys a good idea of what's in there without spoiling it too much. So with Powerless 2, that is probably going to go up to 100 chapters. I am around 45 to, I'm written around 50 to 53 of them. These are going to come out at a steady rate. Monday to Friday is coming back soon. Starting tomorrow, we're getting the next chapter of Powerless, and I'm going to be on my grind. But I do sometimes have to take time off writing because I would rather put out something that's good than disappoint you guys. And also with the serial, it is way harder to recover when you put out something that is bad because the books are longer, they go on for a longer time, and this is just something I have learned very painfully along the way. So I know that some people are frustrated, and thank you, Miles Marianne, for I love everything you write. I really, really appreciate it. That's very kind of you, and it really warms my heart to hear. I know that it does frustrate people when I take breaks from the serial because that's my fault. I put the cliffhanger there and people are like, where's the next chapter? And I'm like, sorry, I need 2 days off. And I know it's frustrating, but I'm trying to let you guys know what's going on and be upfront about when the chapters are coming, and we are starting back tomorrow, and that's going to be pretty much Monday to Friday until the end of Powerless 2. So you got Powerless 2 season 2 on my Patreon. If you subscribe, you also get seasons 1 through 6 of Unfuckable, that series, and then 1 through 5 of Despicable. So Sandra asks, is there going to be a book 2, The Dirty Contract? I'm not done yet, but it feels like it's a part 2 coming. Unfortunately, no. I wish I kind of want to do a part 2, but I also always had this one in mind as a short story. So I hope you enjoy The Dirty Contract, and I'm glad people enjoy it. This is why I rarely put out standalones now, because I know and as a reader too, I'm like this, we want more, and it's, a standalone can be disappointing, but unfortunately that one at this point in time is just a standalone book. Now, when it comes to future romance series, just a little, I haven't been writing this, but I've been working on this, so I wanted to update you guys. The Boston Irish Mafia romance. All of these, I'm going to do a 5-book Mafia romance series next year. I set this in stone. I obviously have to do a whole long video about it, so I'm going to be very quick, but that is going to be set in Boston. It's going to be the Irish mob, completely different rules, completely different people. I have some ideas where I'm like, okay, these are the boundary pushing ideas. These are the more intense ideas that I've had that I've been waiting on, that I know are going to be really juicy and get you into the moment, the mob moment. So I am really excited for those books, and I've already started working on the little writery details we need to nail down the plot, the characters, some of the couples. I already have collages for inspiration, and all 5 of these books you can pre-order as well. So we have a lot of Mafia romance coming, a lot of Mafia romance set in stone. I really hope that you guys can check it out. Primarily I least, at the very least, just get started with this pre-order, because this book is coming out October 27th, and I think it's a binge read length, a good binge read length, and that you will really enjoy it. Now, I don't have too much more to say in this video, so I'm going to sign off quickly and remind you that you can pre-order this book on Amazon. You can order the paperback, and my hardcover isn't here yet, unfortunately, but you can also order a hardcover version of this book and get it delivered with Prime shipping in a couple days. So I will see you all at the launch party. Thank you everyone for watching this, whether you watched it live or not. I hope you learned a little more about the story. Please let me know if you plan on pre-ordering the book or ordering it or reading in Kindle Unlimited. Let me know, and I will see you on October 27th when the book finally drops and you can get into the juicy chapters that I have just described within. So have a wonderful night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
She be calling on a Monday, wanna meet on Tuesday, asking me to fix me up real nice. She can wait until the weekend, she wants off the deep end, telling me to bring the stuff I like. I don't wanna let her down, so